Hello, it's Kim,
And I'm Denise.
and we are
It's Real.
Join us as we bring the Bible to life.
And discover Jesus in both the Old and New Testament.
Good afternoon. This is Kim.
And I'm Denise.
And this is
It's Real.
Yes, it is. And today we're continuing on in Genesis 8.
Yes, we are.
So Genesis 8:1. Then God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the animals that were with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters subsided. The fountains of the deep and the windows of heaven were also stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained. And the waters receded continually, and at the end of 150 days, the waters decreased. Then the ark rested on the 7th month, the 17th day of the month, on the mountains of Ararat. And the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month and on the first day of the month, the tops of the mountain were seen. So it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark in which he had made, and he sent out a raven, which kept going to and fro until the waters had dried up from the earth. He also sent out from himself a dove, to see if the waters had receded from the face of the ground. But the dove found no resting place for the sole of her foot, and she returned to the ark to him. For the waters were on the face of the whole earth. So he put out his hand and took her and drew her into the ark to himself. And he waited another 7 days, and again he sent the dove out from the ark. Then the dove came to him in the evening, and behold, a freshly plucked olive leaf was in her mouth. And Noah knew that the waters had receded from the earth.
So he waited yet another 7 days and sent out the dove, which did not return again to him any more. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the first month, in the first day of the month, that the waters were dried up from the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked, and indeed the surface of the ground was dry. And in the second month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth was dried. Then God spoke to Noah, saying, "Go out of the ark, you and your wife and your sons wives with you. Bring out with you every living thing of all flesh that is with you, birds and cattle and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, so that they may abound on the earth, and be fruitful and multiply on the earth." So Noah went out, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him. Every animal, every creeping thing, every bird, and whatever creeps on the earth, according to their families, went out of the ark. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and took of every clean animal and every clean bird, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. And the Lord smelled a soothing aroma. Then the Lord said in his heart, "I will never again curse the ground for man's sake, although the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth. Nor will I again destroy every living thing that I have, as I have done. While the earth remains, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, winter and summer, and day and night shall not cease."
Beautiful.
Yes.
Ooh, so there's a lot to unpack.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, the first verse, it says God remembered Noah. So it's not like Noah's like cookies that were accidentally left in the oven, and God finally smells them and goes like, "Oh yeah. Better get that out." God turned his attention from destroying the earth and the sin that was on it back to Noah.
Yes.
And the new start.
Yes. Ooh.
And God was causing a wind to blow and dry up the waters. And this is very reminiscent of Genesis 1. And the same word used for Holy Spirit in Genesis 1 is the same word for wind used here in Genesis 8.
So if you look at Genesis 1:2, the second half of Genesis 1:2, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Mm-hmm. So the face of the Spirit of God, the Holy Spirit.
Right.
And it was just drying it up.
And the Holy Spirit is referred to as wind in the scripture, so it makes sense. And God is like recreating this earth. So it's almost like, if you can imagine, a new beginning, kind of a hush is over the earth as God is working, drying up the water. A new climate is emerging.
Yes.
So now we have the water cycle. Before there was no water cycle.
And when we're talking about water cycle, it rains, then it evaporates, it goes into the cloud, it comes back to. So that's the cycle. Now we have that. We didn't have that
Right.
before, right?
Right, that because rains weren't happening. And so Noah comes out and he's looking over the landscape, and I'm sure it looks like it could have been a different planet. Because now you have rivers, valleys, gorges, mountains that were not there before. In fact, you have continents that had been created, which he would not know about at that time, that weren't there before.
Right.
So now the land and the water are not in two different places. Everything's kind of split up. So he would not know that, I don't believe, unless he can see from the Mount Ararat. Okay. So another really cool thing is about Mount Ararat. So it's a volcanic mountain range. Ararat is an actual range of mountains, so I don't know if there is a Mount Ararat, but he's on those mountains, and they contain volcanoes, and those volcanoes are actually formed out of pillow lava, pillow lava is only formed when a volcano erupts underneath the water.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so
the whole Mount Ararat is actually made of a volcano that erupted under the water. So yeah.
Yeah, so the water was really high.
Yes, it was.
Because those mountains today, they're like 17,000 feet high.
That's a lot of water.
Yeah.
To cover that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So verse 2, the flooding, it finally stopped. The rain and everything settled down, and it stopped after 150 days. So when it says it stopped after 150 days, it didn't rain for 150 days, but it's like, I think they came to rest after 100, like on the mountain. Like they stopped.
All of a sudden you're doing this, and then you went
boom. All right, that's a half a year. A half a year.
Could you imagine a half a year?
No, ooh. just like floating around. Like where are we gonna?
There's no rain. You're just out there on the water.
And then
6 months.
I know, and then you run into something. Can you imagine?
Right.
Because they're not seeing it coming.
Oh my goodness!
All the things that were probably running through their mind.
Thank goodness he had a personal relationship with Father.
So, like we were saying, no one knows he's not floating anymore.
Yeah.
And the tops of the mountains obviously are beginning to show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trees. Just the tops.
Just the tops of the mountains. So 40 days of mountaintop being visible. Noah opens the window, cracks the window. I would be a little scared. Like, what in the world what am I going to see? What has happened? So he sends out a
raven.
Yeah. And so this is actually brilliant.
A raven?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the way that the birds he chooses. Go ahead.
Well, go ahead. Tell me about that raven.
Okay. So the raven, of course, he is a scavenger.
Yes.
And he eats flesh. So dead flesh. And so this is really smart. You send out the raven because a raven is going to tell you, give you some information. So the raven goes out, and it says that Noah watches him fly back and forth. So he knows that the raven is eating and able to land. So there could be like carcasses floating still that the raven is eating. And the raven's not opposed to being on high mountains either, because there's probably flesh there that he can eat. So that was the first thing. And then?
He sent out a dove.
Yeah, I know. Doves. Okay, doves are so dramatic. Have you seen a dove?
They're bougie.
They are a little bit bougie, okay?
They have to glide on dry ground.
their little feet have to be on dry ground, and they prefer lower places, like in valleys and stuff.
Yeah, too bougie for all that. Carcass.
That's where they eat that.
Me too. But
They eat seeds and stuff like that. So they're
Right.
going to be eating off of trees. So also, if you've ever seen doves land, so they usually come in pairs. The
Okay.
doves come in pairs. And if before they fly off, as they're flying off, they go and then they fly off. They're very dramatic. Dramatic birds. Yes. So Noah sends them out.
And I don't know what happens. What's the verse?
And they return. The dove returns.
9.
Yeah.
Because there was no place to rest the sole of her foot.
Yes, because she's bougie.
For the waters were still on the earth.
That's right. So she came back, and that was good
Find a dry
information.
spot, yeah.
That was good information. So the next time, 7 days later,
He sent her out again
mhm,
and came back, and behold, a freshly plucked olive leaf was in her mouth.
okay,
And he knew the waters were still receding.
that's right.
Because an olive tree can grow in water? Is that correct?
They do. They continue to
Okay.
grow underwater, but they also like higher elevations.
Okay.
So that was information. Now the trees are showing, at least in the higher elevations. So we're getting good information here. And then 7 days later,
He sent out the dove, and she did not return anymore.
okay,
She found a dry spot for
That's
her
right.
feet.
in the lower elevations. That's right.
Yeah.
So Noah knew that the time was coming when he would go out. But instead of just, I would be like taking them nails out of that door, prying that door open. No, he waited patiently.
He did wait
Mm-hmm.
until the first day of the month, that the waters were dried up from the earth, and Noah removed the covering and looked.
That's right.
And indeed, the surface of the ground was dry.
And then verse 15 and 16, God said, "Go ahead out. Go out. Take your family with you."
What a trip
I know.
on this boat. All these animals. The water wasn't just gently. They were being sloshed and pushed and
Oh, yeah.
moved around.
Yeah. If continents were forming, things were happening. That
Things
water
were
was
Mm.
currents, tides, just.
Do you know how good that felt to get off of that boat onto
Mhm.
dry land? Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'd be running out of there and landing on my face in the grass.
Praise you, Father.
Round.
Ah.
So then the animals go out, and God tells them, "Go out and replenish the earth." So very similar
Yeah.
to Genesis, what He told them there. And God promises never to flood the earth again, even though
Man's heart is evil.
from youth He
Yes.
knew. And He promised that the cycles will not cease and that they will continue.
And that is the first mention of seasons,
Yes.
where we now have seed time and harvest, cold and heat, winter and summer, day and night
Yep.
shall not cease.
That's right.
So he does say he will never destroy the whole earth again. Where is that at? Every living thing. Nor will I again destroy every living thing.
Yep.
So. Praise Father.
There we go.
So we came after Noah, so that's a blessing.
Yes. So, all mankind came from Adam, and now all mankind then comes from Noah. So we are all kinfolk if we dig too far back into our generations.
Yes, and we will get further into that as we come back next week.
Yep.
Y'all have a blessed day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
If you want to know if it's real, then
Admit you're a sinner. Romans 3:10. As it is written, there is none righteous, no, not one.
and as it is written in Romans 3:23, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God.
Believe that Jesus is Lord. Romans 10:9-10.
Because if you confess with your mouth that the Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved.
And call upon the name of the Lord. Romans 10:13. For whoever calls in the name of the Lord shall be saved. If you enjoyed this episode,
Like, subscribe, and share.
you can contact us at
Contact itisreal@gmail.com.